My name is Astrid Wilde. Ooh, am I too close to the mic? I feel really loud right now. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, for giving me the opportunity to speak tonight. My name is Astrid Wilde, and I stand before you today representing myself and my friends, some of whom you've already heard from today and some of whom were not able to attend. I, like everyone else here, I'm just a normal person. I've spent 17 years of my life in Idaho. I like to spend my winters up in McCall, skiing Brundage with my cousins when I'm afforded the opportunity, with friends when I'm not. I have spent weeks camping on beaches, rafting the Salmon River, and hiking and sleeping under the stars up at Stanley. And let me tell you that I love Idaho. I really do. And I want to be able to call Idaho my home. But right now it's hard. I know this is going to come as a surprise, given that it sounds and probably looks like I'm starting to cry, because I am, but I'm not gay. I'm not straight either. My name is Astrid Wilde, and I stand before you today, a trans woman. I know that most of you listening right now already at the start assumed that I was a man because I'm wearing pants, because I have short hair, because my voice is deep and what you would associate with a man's voice. But I am no less a man because of my choice to wear pants today instead of a skirt than Representative Wintrow. I have known since my earliest memory that I was this way. That despite what my parents, my doctors, and my teachers told me, I was not a boy. I remember in first grade, the teacher made the boys and the girls compete against each other to solve puzzles. She would give us gold stars. Sometimes she would let the winning group get to pick snacks that day, or get to decide what we did for recess, whether that was go outside or play Heads Up, 7 Up, which was always my favorite thing to do. And on this particular day that I can remember so clearly, she separated us out. This was the first time into boys and girls, and I went where I thought I belonged. According to the teacher, that wasn't where I belonged. According to the teacher, I was in the wrong group. So I asked her why. Why can't I be a girl? I was 6 years old. And she said that the girls didn't want me. The girls didn't want me there. And so I turned to the girls and I asked the girls, am I welcome? Why can't I help you build a puzzle? And unanimously, a group of 6-year-old girls told me that I was welcome. But the teacher still wouldn't let me. I had already learned at the age of 6. This was not something that I was allowed to object to. This was how I was born. This is how I had to be for the rest of my life. So I hid. I pretended to be a boy. I got really good at it. According to my parents, until the very, very recent past, I was a happy boy. I was the epitome of a successful child. I made them proud by the things that I did. I'm a silver medal congressional recipient, working towards my gold still, and I plan on finishing it next year. I was a leader in my religious community. I've led small groups since I was 16. I've directed music and I've trained musicians of faith since I was 18. But I was not a boy. At night, when I was younger, I remember kidnapping my little sister's Barbies after she had fallen asleep and playing with them in secret, because I knew that if my parents caught me, they would make fun of me for it or take them away. I knew that they would tell their friends, because that's what parents do. They brag about their children or they complain about their children. This was the perspective of me as a 6-year-old. What am I supposed to do? Well, I don't want to hear my parents talk bad about me, so I have to do the things that I know they will laugh at me for in secret. After I left my parents' house, I came out as transgender. Since then, I have lost many friends who I grew up with. Many of them are in this room today and have testified in opposition. But I've found new friends. Some of them you've heard from today and yesterday, who have been denied housing here in Idaho because of who they love. And the opposition has made it sound like the solution to this is simple. We just have to find another place to rent. And let me tell you, as a libertarian, this argument really resonates with me. But our choice, the choice of myself and many like me, who are hated by their family, who've recently lost their friends, who are struggling to find a place willing to hire them. It is not a choice between one rental place or another. It is a choice between the 1 or 2 places in town that we can afford or homelessness. In the same way, we do not have the option to find a safe place to work. We can either work at a place where we are harassed daily by customers and employees alike. Some friends here will testify that they've even been harassed by management. So why do we stay there? We stay there because we already applied at the road down the street 6 months ago and 3 months before that. The second time when we were actually given an interview, the manager sat down and said to me, "Now, I don't have anything against you, really, I don't. But people bring their kids here. And I'm afraid we'll lose business." Restrooms have been mentioned here a lot today, so I'm going to speak very briefly to that. Speaking as a trans woman who's only begun to physically transition, I avoid public restrooms whenever possible. And I'll tell you why. Because when I stand in front of 2 doors deciding which to enter, I don't see a door that says men and women. I see a door on one hand that says, "Get yelled at by 2 women today," one of whom is already calling the police. The other reads, "Step inside, I dare you, and a man will assault you today while his friend watches, laughing. He tells you that next time he sees you, you won't get off so easily." Believe me when I say that I know you feel threatened by my presence in a restroom. You've made that very clear. But I mean you no harm. All I know is that nowhere is safe. There's nowhere I can go to escape the people who roll down their windows while I'm riding my bike to work and yell "queer." Or the people who've thrown beer bottles at me on my way to work because of the way that I'm dressed. Every day that I step outside my front door, I am risking my life. Every time that I decide I can't hold it anymore in a public place, that I have to use the restroom, I fear that someday I will be raped. when friends come out of a restroom bar, at a bar, with bruises on their face, I don't have to say anything. They don't have to say anything, because we already know what happened. Because it happens. It just happens. This is not an exceptional story. This is our normal. This is my normal. Will this bill fix society? No. No law has the power to change people's hearts. I will fully admit that, and I don't expect it to. But it could save lives. It could save my friends' lives one day. It could save mine. You've already heard testimony from people like me who've left the state of Idaho, despite how much we love it, because we didn't feel safe. And now you know a little bit why. And so it is for that reason that I stand before you today and ask that you send HB2 to the floor with a recommendation to pass, because I don't want to have to go to the mountains to feel safe. I stand for questions.
Are there questions? Thank you.